Composr CMS version 11 beta 7 has just been released. Here are some of the many changes that have been implemented in version 11 beta 7. You should pause the video if you would like to read this. Otherwise, we will be covering each of these items more in depth throughout this video. Version 11 beta 7 is intended for testing purposes only and not for use on production websites. If you choose to use version 11 beta 7 on a live site, you do so at your own risk. If you upgrade to this release and are using the raw PHP style URL schemes, which is the default for Composr, the single public zone option will be forced on for your website to work around a known bug which could lock members out of your site. See Tracker issue 6166 for more information. If you want to work around this bug, aka you need the site zone to be separate, before you upgrade, change your URL scheme to a different option, such as the Use PG to identify CMS pages setting, which will work best without requiring further configuration on your part. But make sure your web server supports URL rewrites and you have an htaccess file present. What you could do is you can copy the recommended .htaccess file over. Here is some additional important information. As of version 11 beta 7, Composr CMS now requires the PHP getText extension. This is used in the location settings for the new regions field. After you upgrade, review your new parental control settings under the admin zone, setup, and edit parental control settings. After upgrading, review your telemetry settings under the admin zone, setup, configuration, privacy/legal compliance options. Also note that the multi-lang content option, which is located in your config.php file, is now ignored and will be controlled in the database. These non-bundled add-ons have been removed as of version 11 beta 7. Performance Compile, Simplified Emails, Confluence, Sugar CRM, Banter, World Regions, and Locations Catalogs. To upgrade from a previous version of version 11, you can either go to your admin dashboard or you could go to your website /upgrader.php. You will need your maintenance password to get into the upgrader, but once you're in, scroll down to the upgrade steps. You should run the highlighted steps in the screenshot. First, take a backup of your current website. Then, close your site. Then, transfer over files. Then do a file integrity scan to remove orphan files. Then do a database upgrade. Then manage your add-ons and see if there are any non-bundled add-ons that need upgrading. Then do another file integrity scan if you upgraded any non-bundled add-ons. Then clear your caches. And then finally, open your site back up. If you find any bugs in the software, or you have a suggestion, feel free to leave it on the tracker. Go to compo.sr/report-issue.htm. Now let's talk about some of the most notable changes in version 11 beta 7, starting with parental controls. In 11 beta 7, the previous options for COPPA compliance or parental consent have been removed, and instead a new parental controls feature has been implemented. This is an XML file located in your admin zone, setup, edit parental control settings. Here, you have robust control over how parental controls are operated on your site. For instance, you can set different age thresholds for different regions to determine who has to get parental consent in order to use your website. As an example, in the default XML, there are options for COPPA compliance, which is children under 13, and GDPR compliance, which is children under 16. You can also specify your own messages and privacy policy details, where the messages will get sent out with the parental consent form, and the privacy policy details will be included on the automatically generated privacy policy. And when you receive parental consent from that member, you can then go to their profile settings and edit a new field on their profile called Parental Consent Status. Additionally, version 11 beta 7 supports the lockout control, where instead of requiring parental consent if a member is under a certain age, the member will be entirely locked out of their account if they are under a certain age until they turn that age. The parental controls configuration also allows you to enforce different member profile settings, such as date of birth, time zone, and region, to ensure legal compliance. All of this is documented in a tutorial. There is a tutorial link off to the right-hand side of the XML field. So if you need help understanding how to configure the XML, don't worry and take a look at the tutorial to help. Additional features are planned for later implementation into the parental control system. Also in version 11 beta 7, we made major enhancements to the telemetry service. Telemetry is a way for your Composr website to report errors and statistics to the home site. There, core developers can review these errors and statistics to improve the software. After upgrading, be sure to check out your new settings located under the Admin Zone, Setup, Configuration, Privacy Legal Compliance settings. Namely, check out the Telemetry What to Relay to Core Developers setting, and the Allow featuring this site on the home site. For telemetry, you have three options: either Relay Nothing, which disables telemetry completely, Relay only error messages that you encounter, or Relay Errors and Statistics, which will not only relay errors, but some basic statistics such as the number of members on your site and the number of page hits you get. If you tick the Allow featuring this site on the home site box, then the core developers may feature your website in the site showcase at composr.app. Telemetry is also much more secure and compliant with data protection legislation as of version 11 beta 7. All of the data that your site sends to the home site is encrypted. This is done through the use of a public software key, which is distributed to all installations of Composr based off of the version number, and additionally, a site key, which is generated and personal to your site only. You can view the status of telemetry, such as basic statistics about what the home site knows about your site, by going to the Admin Zone, Audit, Telemetry Status. If you not only want to disable telemetry, but tell the home site that you want all of your data to be deleted, you can edit the data/installed.php file. There is a comment in there that tells you what to do. For more information about how telemetry works, you could visit the tutorial link off to the right-hand side of this page. Next, in version 11 beta 7 is a new feature in the validation add-on called Validation Date and Time. This replaces the old publish time for news articles. Validation Date and Time supports virtually any content type that also supports the validated toggle. So let's say if you want a news article to be published in the future, you can use Validation Date and Time to set a date and time in the future, and then toggle Validated to off. But you could do the same with other content types as well, and not just news articles. You could do it for downloads, galleries, images, videos, Comcode pages, and much more. Here's a quality of life enhancement in version 11 beta 7 for administrators and content managers. On a lot of the results tables where there could be a lot of entries, I've added a filter box. This allows you to filter the results table by a variety of different criteria. Also in version 11 beta 7 is an enhancement to the regions field, or better yet, in the underlying code, the locations and geolocation system. This code has been refactored out into a new bundled add-on called Core Locations, and with it, it bundles the PHP ISO codes library. This enables the ability to select regions for any country around the world, and not just the United States or the United Kingdom. The regions field has been enhanced, so now there's two drop-down boxes. The first one is for the country, and when you select a country, the second one will automatically populate with regions within that country, so then you could select your region. This enhancement was mainly made in order to support regional filtering within the parental control system. Also in version 11 beta 7 is a fix to conflict resolution. While Composr CMS supported conflict resolution on some pages, there were many other pages that were missing conflict resolution which should have had it. Conflict resolution is a feature that will alert you if another staff member is working on the same page as you. That way, you are aware that your changes may overwrite each other. This feature was missing on a lot of the edit screens, especially editing XML, and it was missing on some less conventional pages as well. For example, the add a warning screen needed it in order to prevent multiple staff members from accidentally warning somebody for the same thing. So now virtually all edit screens within Composr should have conflict resolution. Conflict resolution has also gotten a little bit smarter. For instance, let's say a staff member is editing the aggregate types XML, and another staff member is trying to add an aggregate type instance. The staff member trying to add an aggregate type instance will get a conflict resolution message. Even though they're technically not on the same page as the other staff member, they are trying to do something which could get overwritten by a change in the XML of the aggregate types. The paste.js JavaScript library has been implemented in 11 beta 7. This adds a page loading progress bar at the top of every page in Composr. Its color will match the theme seed color. If you don't want the paste progress bar, you can disable it in your theme options. It is also overridable per theme. Up until this point, whenever Composr detected a new comcode page, that is, a new text file within one of your zones, it would automatically validate the comcode page, meaning it would go live immediately. But for some people, this is not desired. For example, you might have an editing or writing team who needs to pre-review these pages before they go live. And you might not be using the traditional user interface to create comcode pages. Maybe you're using a Git repository or a source control system. Or you're just simply creating text files with your text editor. In any case, there is now a new option located under the admin zone, setup, configuration, content editing options, called Validate New Comcode Pages. It is ticked by default, but if you untick it, then any new comcode pages discovered will not be automatically validated. Also under the hood, there was a long-standing bug where Composr was not creating search engine metadata automatically or URL monikers for new discovered comcode pages, and this has been fixed in 11 beta 7. Also in version 11 beta 7, I've improved how the system scheduler manages errors that are encountered. Previously, the only thing that Composr would do is note the error within the system scheduler hooks page. Now, in addition to that, it will also properly log the error with a stack trace in your low-level error log, and in addition, it will relay the error through the telemetry service if you have errors enabled for telemetry. That way, core developers can be notified of system scheduler errors within the software as well, and so will you. There are a lot of other more minor fixes and improvements in Composr 11 Beta 7. You could check them out on the release article on composr.app. But that concludes this video, and I hope you enjoy version 11 Beta 7. And for those of you who are new to Composr and want to give it a try, I provided some links in the description of this video.